Hi everyone, hopefully you have had a chance to work on Module 7 already. We are getting really close to the end of the semester. You may have noticed Module 7 is a little bit longer. We have 3 weeks to complete it. This is because fall break is in Module 7 and I wanted to give you extra time so you can complete things early if you would like to spend more time with your family over the break. So those of you who are not procrastinating will actually get a little bit of a break there. For Module 7, what we're doing is finishing up your play, and you want to make sure that you get it done fairly quickly so you can submit it to the workshop discussion board. I know I've posted about this several times, but remember, completing an activity where you actually have to critique others' work and look at others' work is a requirement for the class. It's one of those core outcomes. And those core outcomes mean that those are the things that you learn in the class, and those are mandated by the state. And so if you don't complete one of these activities that requires interaction with other students, then you are not meeting the requirements for the class and you can't get credit for it. So if you haven't completed the discussion boards before, you need to complete the one for this module. You have one more opportunity to do this, and this is in the final module. You will have a blog that requires looking at other students' work as well. So just keep that in mind. The other thing that you get to do in this module is learn a little bit more about publication. There's only a little bit in the textbook about it, so if you ever have questions, feel free to email me. I know quite a bit about submitting things for publication, so if you want extra advice or anything like that, just send me an email. So playwriting is a lot different from other types of writing, and you may have already figured this out as you went through Module 6. But I've just got a little bit of advice for you when writing plays, especially when you're writing something like a 10-minute play. Start off with one, maybe two characters, put them in a situation where they're doing something normal, and then have something unexpected happen. So you've got two little old ladies who are sisters, and they're sitting at home knitting or something, and then someone shows up at the door, and then you have to decide who that is. Is it maybe it's a young girl, and so our two older ladies are suddenly reminiscing about their youth. Maybe it's a police officer and they find out that they actually died in a car crash 3 weeks ago and they didn't know it, and they're ghosts or something. So something unexpected, something to twist it around for the reader. You want to decide after that unexpected thing happens, how do they react? A lot of the play, it can be their reaction to it. You know, do they react poorly to it? If so, what is their reaction like? How does that affect the other characters? And then, of course, you bring about a conclusion. The conclusion is typically either positive or negative. If you want it to feel more like a tragedy, you end it negatively. Feel more like a comedy, you end it positively. So they resolve it or they don't resolve it, and you're going to figure out how that will work for the characters. Give all your characters quirks. A lot of students base their characters off of people they know. So, you know, if your brother is constantly referencing his favorite basketball team, maybe that will show up in there, or chewing his nails. Maybe you have a character who does that in your play. So that can be good inspiration. One of the other issues that students often have with writing drama is it sounds too much like a narrative story, and so you got to be careful about that. One of the things that I recommend is just getting all the dialogue written out first and then go back and add in stage directions, because those stage directions may change based on how a director might decide to put it on stage. So those aren't really as concrete as the dialogue needs to be, and so you really want to limit things like stage directions and also dialogue tags. You don't need a dialogue tag for every line of dialogue. Just a few in there to tell us, you know, if a character needs to whisper something or shout something, you might add that in there. Otherwise, there's not as much direction for how it's said, because it's really how the actor and the directors would decide to perform it. So part of the issue with writing drama is that you're only doing half of it. The other half is when it's performed and you have no control over it. So playwrights have to really think about it, but much differently. Just keep in mind, though, it is not a narrative. It's not like writing a short story where you have to explain everything that happens. Instead, it would be performed that way. So you're just providing the structure for the story that will be told. You're not providing the story. So some students find drama to be like the most annoying thing to write because of this. Another thing that I wanted to remind you of is that Module 8 is open and it's ready for you to submit to. I really recommend starting to work on that now if you have a little extra time. I know we get really crammed at the end of the semester, and you do have that opportunity to do that now. You can finish the class early. Module 8 only has one assignment that requires having to look at other people's work, and hopefully everyone will get done with that here pretty soon. And so you can then work on your final piece and your reflection, and then you can get everything done and submitted right away here at the end, and you can be done with the class a little bit earlier if you want to. So I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving break, and if you have any questions at all, please feel free to email me.